All right. Okay. So, welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for taking your time to join me today here. So, I hope the first week of classes is going good or uh, it's going as expected. Okay. So, thanks a lot for coming here. And I'm Shashi, and I'm a graduate student in Energy Systems Engineering, and I'm the president of Illinois Solar Decathlon. So the agenda of this session would be like the first few minutes. I'll explain what IST is or Illinois Solar Decathlon is. I'll explain about the mission, our past projects, the organization structure, the project teams available, the logistics, as well as the team-wide events, and what is the application procedure. So the mission. So before that, I'd like to explain what IST is. So ISD or Illinois Solar Decathlon is a student-run organization that's completely managed and managed by the students, which means that we have a faculty advisor, but all the decisions within the organization as well as the within the projects is completely taken by the students or managed by the students. So the main mission of our organization is to educate the students, or in this case, the members, about sustainable construction methods or sustainability as a whole. So we do this by participating in the Solar Decathlon competition conducted by the Department of Energy and the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. Uh, they have 2 to 3 competitions. So the first one being the design challenge and the build challenge. We can speak about that in upcoming slides. The next thing is we are an RSO under the Granger College of Engineering, but we have students from many majors, starting from uh, the College of Engineering as well as architecture, some from the College of Business. So we have a lot of members. So that's so you can be from any of the department to join the RSO. So this is one of the projects that's completely designed by the students, which is called Micromunity. That is, this is a self-sustainable project. That is, uh, the residents who are staying within the community should be able to get all the food as well as every other components that are required for essential living within from their own community. That's the main goal of the project. So this is Element House, which is one of the student designed construction project. This is Ethos. This was one of the projects about community living, or let's say this is targeted for the Asian market specifically, or any kind of cities that where the members within the city lifestyle would like to stay away from the downtown, and they want to start a life or family somewhere near somewhere on the outskirts of the city. So it's a small house as well as net zero, in the sense it produces more electricity. It generates more electricity than it consumes. This is a gable home, again one of the projects constructed by or designed and totally constructed by the students. This is Rehome, designed and constructed by the students. This you can find this near the South Farms, which is again within the university. We used to have barbecue grilling, or we used to have social events uh, at this place if the pandemic didn't happen. So this is our most recent project called the Adapt House, and we are nearing the construction phases of this project. So as you can see, you saw about design team projects as well as build team projects. So now coming to, I'll explain what design team and what build team are. So the organization structure is as as you can see. So it's managed by the president, and under the president there would be vice president and treasurer. So the president would be responsible for taking all the major decisions. The vice president would help the president with all the executive work. The treasurer would be managing the finances, and we have a marketing and communications director who would be managing the social media and the digital media wing of the organization, as well as he or she would be in charge of newsletters. We have a sponsorship chair who would be in contacts with the university as well as other companies to seek sponsorships for the projects as well as to run the organization. So we also have a deputy sponsorship chair who's responsible for helping the sponsorship chair. So the social chair will be in charge of organizing the events, the social events for all the members of the organization. We have a faculty advisor, and we do have some kind of senior advisors that they are the past members or the past presidents of the organization. So this is the executive board, but when it comes to the project teams, we have three teams. The first one being the design team, the second one being the build team, the third one being the concept team. So all the three teams are different and individual, which means that it's not the concept team first visualizes the design and the design team actually improves the design, or then the build team constructs the house. It doesn't work in that way. So the concept team is completely different, the design team is completely different, and the build team is completely different. So as you can see, the build team, it says 2019 to 20. That's because I can explain that a bit. So the next one is all the individual teams would be managed by the project manager, and under the project manager there would be 7 to 8 sub team leads, and under the sub team leads there would be the sub team members. So we have 7 sub teams, the first one being the architecture sub team that would be looking after the architectural aspects of the project. The next one being, this isn't any hierarchical order, it's just random. So the next one being the LAHA sub team, that is the lighting and home automation sub team that would look after the, let's say, the systems and systems of the houses and how to make the house or the project a smart house or the smart project using the help of sensors and other equipments. The next one being the HVAC and the energy analysis sub team. This team would be responsible to calculate the energy load of the house as well as how to improve the energy efficiency of the entire project. The next one being the photovoltaic and the electrical sub team. So this is specifically targeted to electrical engineering or EC or energy systems major, where or it's open to anyone, but we do have a lot of members from these majors contributing to the PV and E sub team. So he or she or they would be looking into the aspects of how exactly you can integrate the PV panels to the project, as well as how exactly you can increase the on-site energy production. The next one being the water sub team. So this team would be responsible for looking into the gray water and the black water systems of the project. So the next one being marketing and finance sub team. So they would be looking into the aspects of how exactly to execute the budget and how we can fulfill the sponsorship commitments and so on. The next one being the structural and construction management sub team. So it's actually a little bit different. So different in the sense we have a structural sub team and we do have a construction sub team. So this should have been 2. So the structural team is responsible for the basic structure or to perform the basic structural analysis and advanced structural analysis of the project. And the construction management sub team is responsible to look after the finances of the project in the sense. So if you look into the marketing and finance sub team, that's completely different. He or she would be looking into promoting the project, while the construction management sub team would be looking into the finances of that specific project that he or she is working. Okay, next one is concept team. So this specific team is targeted to freshmen or sophomores in some cases. So the main goal of the concept team is to introduce freshmen and sophomores or anyone who is interested to learn more about renewable energy or sustainability or green construction methods as a whole. So you'd be looking into the old and new designs of the IST projects and why exactly they chose that specific design, and learning a lot about the philosophy behind the design. You would also be looking into smaller scale projects, or you can copy the design, or you can just learn from the past projects and integrate or implement in a small scale level. The next one being you'll get to know about your own, you will get, you can pick a sub team and you can get to know more about the functioning of that specific sub team. So um, as a whole, this team is specifically designed to introduce freshmen and sophomores to what solar decathlon is and what renewable energy is and what energy efficiency is. Then comes the IST design and build team. So the design team participates in the design challenge and the build team participates in the build challenge. Both are different competitions. So the design team participates in the design challenge, which is an annual competition which happens every year. And the build team participates in the build challenge, which is a biennial competition that happens once in 2 years. So the most recent build team competition was supposed to be happening in the month of June 2020, but due to COVID-19 pandemic, the entire competition has been postponed till the month of April 2021. So Solar Decathlon, what Solar Decathlon? It's a competition organized by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory as well as the Department of Energy, specifically Office of, I believe it's energy efficiency. So what they want to see is they want to focus. So the end goal here is to design and construct. So in case of design team, you have to design a building. In case of the build team, you have to design and actually construct a building. So you have to design a building that focuses on high performance in the sense it should be energy efficient. You should use sustainable materials as well as uh, the on-site energy production should be huge. You should actually solve a problem in the case. It should be low cost and market ready. It shouldn't focus on a niche market. Instead, we have a set of rules and the participating teams should satisfy those set of rules before actually participating in the competition. For example, you can choose an office building or a university high school. You cannot randomly choose some kind of a grocery store or something for the competition. So it has a set of rules. The third one is innovation. So within the given time frame and within the given constraint based on the location as well as various factors such as the weather of the place where the building is to be constructed or designed, as well as the nearing buildings, you should come up with some kind of solutions. That's where innovation stands for. And the main goal here is to educate the students on sustainable building construction as a whole, as well as there is a huge market. Energy efficiency is the cheapest way to actually decarbonize the entire economy. So one of the main goals is to educate all the members on the concepts of energy efficiency as well. Okay, so this is the structure. So when it comes to design challenge, you have 6 specific categories. So the first one being elementary school, the next one being the office building, the next one being mixed use a multifamily housing, the next one being attached housing, next one suburban single family as well as urban single family. So the last time we partnered with the university's facilities and services department. So they manage all the buildings within the university to reconstruct the university high school. So that's one of the building that's nearing the reconstruction phases, and so we partnered with the facilities and services. We got the documents from the university. We completely redesigned the building from scratch and integrated new HVAC system, the PV system, as well as water system. So all the students, so we were a team of 20 plus members, and we presented the findings to the facilities and services as well. And unfortunately, we didn't win the competition. So that's one thing, but all the students got a chance to redesign the project from scratch. So they looked into the architectural aspects, the structural engineering aspects, the energy efficiency aspects, as well as the PV, as well as photovoltaic production. And they completely redesigned it and submitted the report to facilities and services, which they really liked. And they're looking forward to use that report when they would be actually reconstructing the university high school. We have 10 contests. That's the reason for the name Solar Decathlon. I'll explain about the 10 contests later. So So the IST design team, just to make sure, the IST design team participates in the design challenge, Solar Decathlon design challenge. The IST build team participates in the Solar Decathlon build challenge. The design challenge is an yearly competition where the students just design the house on paper. Paper in the sense you should have a rendering, you should have a complete set of documents that should be part to construction documents. That is when someone reads the documents or when someone goes through the documents, it should be construction ready. They should be able to construct the house. So the next one is build challenge. So here you have to design the house. Yeah, you would be having a lot of submissions as well, but here you have to actually construct the house. Actually construct the house in the sense you should design, get sponsors, get help from the authorities, clear the local permits, as well as the you should look into the various electrical codes, the water codes, and every other codes possible, and you have to construct and deploy the house. So usually in the design challenge, the first semester you would be looking into the schematic design of. You should choose the location. That's the first thing. This semester we are planning to partner again with the again we are looking to partner with the facilities and services to choose a building. It can be one of the buildings in these 6 categories, and you have to come up with the design narratives. That is, what would be the design philosophy behind the chosen building, behind the chosen design. For example, if it's facing, let's say, if it's going to be facing a creek, you can come up, you can use biomimicry as well. So you can use a transparent design, and stuff goes on. So you don't have any kind of restrictions unless and until you follow the rules as well as the building codes. You should come up with a schematic design, and you should have basic design iterations. You should run multiple design iterations, and you should research the existing technology. If it's going to be a reconstruction, if it's going to that is a renovation, if it's going to be new construction, you have to research the available technologies on the market just to make sure you're on top notch. uh, a couple of benefits. So you should complete the so-called building science training, which introduces you to what sustainable construction is and what exactly sustainability means and how exactly we can save money through sustainability principles. So you should have a rough design by the end of the first semester. The second semester, you should have finalized floor plans. You should design you should develop your design based on your initial design. Decide on major systems. What are the types of PV panels you're going to use? What is the system? What is the HVAC system that you're going to use? What is the water system that you're going to use? And you should have a general layout of all the systems. It should be on Revit. Revit is a building information modeling software that is used by all the members in the design team as well as the build team. You should have preliminary energy estimates. What is the energy consumption of the house and how it can be reduced? And you have to begin detailing, and you would have various submissions on the go. And somewhere in the month of April 2020, in the month of April in the year 2021, you would be having um, your final presentation. You get a chance. If we are selected for the final round, we get a chance to travel to National Renewable Energy Laboratory at Colorado to present the findings. So, okay, so you should be having you would be having a lot of submissions in the first place. That is, uh, as time progresses, you'd be having multiple submissions, and you have to submit the project report at the end as well as give a final presentation at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. Um, in each of the submission, you would receive feedback from the committee that is conducting the Solar Decathlon competition. And at the end, winners would be selected, and you get a chance to network with the existing sponsors of Solar Decathlon competition. And you also get a chance to develop your career aspiration within the specific field. You get a chance to the design challenge weekend that would be happening in the National Renewable Energy Laboratory at Colorado would be a huge networking opportunity, because a lot of universities would be participating. You only get a chance if you have made it to the finals, which means that you're exceptionally great and you're brilliant. Okay, why join IST? So this is a simple rendering of the redesigned University High School. This building is nearly net zero, which means that it produces more energy than it consumes. And we have an innovative HVAC system called the CERV, which focuses on the air quality as at the same time when it focuses on the, let's say, the heating and air conditioning aspects as well. So when you're a part of IST, you get a chance to get OSHA certification. OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Authority, and which is a mandatory certification in many of the companies if you want to do field work in the sense if you want to get on the field and if you want to be a project engineer. There are two categories. The first one being OSHA 10 and the OSHA 30. OSHA 10 is a 10-hour training and the OSHA 30 is a 30-hour training. So you might get a chance. So we are planning to conduct OSHA 10 certification programs, but we are not yet sure about OSHA 30 certification because due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So you might get a chance to complete the OSHA certification, which might save 40 hours if you're if you're beginning to work in a company, you might save 40 hours, and it's completely sponsored. The next one is building science certification. If you want to be a part of the design challenge or the build challenge, you have to complete this, which introduces you to the concepts of sustainable building principles and construction as a whole. So you might, again, this is not yet confirmed. So if you're a part of any of one of the teams, the design team or the build team or the concept team, you might get a chance to actually get a chance to experience construction aspects of the current build team project. I'll get back to that in a little bit. So you get a chance to present at NREL, and you're solving real world problems. So you cannot randomly choose a building and redesign it. You're actually you're designing the building from grounds up, which means that it's going to be a huge experience. So all the sub teams would be taking independent decisions, but when it comes to a design conclusion or a final conclusion deciding on major systems, you would you should look into the aspects of the architecture, PV, as well as uh, the finances as well. So which means that this to put it in simple words, this is like a simulation of what a real world construction would look like, construction experience would look like. You also get a chance to participate in sustainability workshops. We are planning to organize that this semester. Sustainability in the sense it can be any kind of, it can be the most recent PV advances, or it can be something in the sense, so something focused on uh, renewable energy as well as in the field of architecture. We would be organizing workshops. And if you're a part of IST, especially a sub team lead, you get a chance to take AB 498, which is a technical elective specifically offered to credit the students who are a part of Solar Decathlon, because you're doing a lot of work. You're solving real life problems. So you might get a chance to take AB 498, and that should be approved before taking. So that's one thing. So the build challenge. So we can ignore this component because we are just going to have a single build challenge this time. So the 10 contest, which stands for Solar Decathlon, is energy performance. How efficient the building is. That's the first thing. And looking into the engineering aspects. So it looks into the HVAC systems as well as the structural engineering as a whole. It looks into various engineering components. Financial feasibility and affordability. Is the building targeting a mass market? Is a building actually uh, viable for construction when it comes to mass scale? And resilience. So resilience in the sense how exactly the building adapts to uh, the the circumstances, the various circumstances that environmental circumstances in the sense in the case. Architecture, that looks into the architectural aspects. So operations, what are the systems within the building and how efficiently they operate. Market potential, so which market we are targeting, and each of the competitions would be having 100 points. So we have 10 competitions. That's the reason for the name Solar Decathlon. And the design challenge as well as the build challenge would be judged on these 10 competitions. Comfort and environmental quality. So that looks into the aspects of the HVAC comfort as well as the air quality within the house. and innovation. What exactly have you done at the end of the project, and why, let's say, um, why this house? What is the reason for choosing this house, and what is the reason for this specific system? What is the reason for the design philosophy? The next one is presentation. This looks into the all the submissions that that we need to make at the end of the competition. So this is the Adapt House. So this is the official entry from the University of Illinois to participate in the Build Challenge. Um, the house is a modular construction project, so which means that you get a chance. So I can explain the design philosophy behind this. So the thing is, as you can see, there are two modules. So the ideology behind the house is this house focuses uh, on young individual couples as the target market. So for example, a couple want to start a family and they don't have enough money, so they can just buy one of these modules and they can start a family. In 2 to 3 years they make some money and they want to start a family and they have some money in their hand, they can buy a second module and attach the second module to the first module. And uh, let's say they make some more money, and if they have if he or she, the couple, is planning to open an in-home office, they can buy one more module and construct it here or attach it perpendicular to the first module. So the main goal here is you can expand, and you can attach and detach the modules on the go, so as long as the space permits. So you'd be having, so, and in the future, let's say the couple wants they start a family and they have a kid, and the kid wants to leave the house and they also make some money mistakes, so they want some emergency money, they can just remove the modules and sell it off. So that's how it works. So this house is completely sustainable in the sense it's net positive. It produces more energy than it consumes. We have an 8 kilowatt PV system on rooftop, and this is actually nearing the construction phases. So this was supposed to be constructed in the March to April timeline, and we were supposed to participate in the Solar Decathlon Build Challenge in the month of June, but due to COVID-19, this didn't happen. But the project is coming to phase as of now. We are nearing the construction phases. We also have a lot of smart home capabilities within the house. We are developing a mobile app to control all the features of the house, as well as to track the energy production. So the app is in development. So the house is valued at approximately $500,000, and the main highlight here is all the decisions are made by the students. Built, it's designed by the students from grounds up, and all the decisions are made by the student. I'm working on the energy side of the house. I'm the one of the renewable energy engineers for this project. So yep, we have multiple big name sponsors such as Kender, uh, Thornton Thomas City, which is a structural engineering company. We recently received a grant for $150,000 as well to support this project, and multiple departments within the university supports us as well. So yeah, this is one of the most recent projects we have. So the logistics here are, uh, irrespective of which team you're in, you'd be having one weekly team meeting, which would be 1 hour. So the project manager would start with announcement and what are the next week's work, and he or she would assign the work to all the members of the project team. So there would be sub team meetings, which is irrespective of the 1 hour weekly meeting. The sub team lead would be assigning the work to all the sub team members. Uh, so this specific meeting would also be 1 hour. So in total, you'd have two meetings, and you need to put in a work of 4 to 6 hours of work. You might be so interested, you might even put 10 hours of work if uh, if you like, and if you are willing to learn a lot. So the approximate the time consumption is somewhere between 7 to 10 hours, or it varies from 5 to 10 hours as well. So if pre-COVID we were having general meetings where all the teams, that is the design team, the project, the concept team, as well as the build team, would come together and they would all present the meeting. So this time we are planning to host the general meeting, which would be through Zoom, and we'd be presenting. We would also have some guest speakers as well. So I can share the application link in the chat, as well as I can speak a little bit about application. So when it comes to the concept team, it's open to all, specifically targeted to freshmen and sophomores. When it comes to the design team, it's open to all the upperclassmen as well as sophomores. If you're interested to put in work, you can apply to this. We would be having some kind of interview screening process before making the decision for the design team. For the build team, since we have already designed the entire house and most of the systems are finalized, we are looking to we are recruiting on a rolling basis. So the most active recruitment is happening within the construction management team, the water sub team, as well as the structural engineering sub team. So for the construction management sub team, you should be willing to put in at least 10 hours of work per week, because we are nearing the construction phases, and we are looking for a lot of members to coordinate with subcontractors as well as the contractors to make sure everything is on flow. For the water sub team, again, you have to look. We are finalizing the water system, and we're looking into the codes, because we are having a new first of its kind, not first of its kind. So an efficient water system that's completely designed by the students, that's implemented, that's one of first of its kind within the Champaign-Urbana area. So we are looking for members as well as in the water team. And for the structural engineering team, you should be able to do basic structural calculations and load analysis, and you should be a little bit proficient in Revit for this. What we're looking for is interest. You should be willing to learn about your specific sub team, and you should be willing to commit time, because the project relies on each and every member, because the project manager is responsible for the submission, which means that if a sub team delays a submission, which means the entire project may be rejected because we don't meet a specific timeline. So dedication and time commitment are one of the prime things that we are looking for. And we don't look into qualifications as a whole. So you might, if you're a structural engineering, so except for build team, we are looking for someone who's sound in their own department or in their own expertise. For the design team, we're looking for anyone who's interested to learn a lot about that specific sub team. So you can be a electrical engineer and you can participate in the water team as well. So as long as you're willing to put in effort or you're willing to put in a lot of time. So past experience is not needed for the design challenge as well as the concept team, but for the build team, since we are nearing the construction phases, a little bit experience or an interest is required to completely participate in the build team or apply to the build challenge. So yep, so here is the application link. I can share that in the chat as well. And now open to questions. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. We can just have this as a casual conversation. You don't need to have any kind of prior experience for the design team as well as the concept team. But for the build challenge, we are looking for someone with experience, because we are nearing the construction phases. Yep. So UAUC's track record in the past years for Solar Decathlon. So we have not gained the first place in any of the competition, but Gable Home won the second place for the build team challenge. But when it comes to the design team, again, we haven't won the competition. We have been in the second or third places in the design challenges as well. So okay, so it's going to be September 4th. The application is going to be, the deadline is going to be the 4th of September, and it's not going to be August 30th, because that's due to a typo. We didn't anticipate that. So we just missed that. And the application deadline is going to be the 4th of September. If you guys just give me one moment, I can share the application link in the chat as well. So you get a lot of experience. So you don't need to be physically present in Champagne or anywhere. Everything is going to be virtual. We have a Revit server where all the designs are going to be stored, and you can be anywhere within the world, and you can be on any of the time zone as long as you complete the work. So that's not going to be an issue. You can complete the work whenever you want, and yep, as long as you complete the work, that's going to be fine. Yep. Could I resubmit with different preferences? Yeah, that's a great question. So you can, and also you would be having an option to edit the existing preferences. So that's not going to be a problem, Jeffrey. So if you want, you can submit a new application as well. That's not going to be an issue. We would be reviewing the most recent application. Yeah, Isabella, you should be having a resume to apply to any of the teams. Yeah, Tess, for the design challenge, there are openings in all of the sub teams, so that's not going to be a problem. So, but if a sub team has a lot of members, we might select the most qualified members in the sense, for example, if PVND has 6 to 7 members, we might select the 6 to 7 members. But if there are like 10 applications, we would only be selecting only the required amount of application members. So yeah, the sooner you apply, the better it is. But yeah, this is the link to the application. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure, Christopher.
So you mentioned like contractors for the build team. Would the team be building the building on their own, or do they usually have like pay other people to do it for them?
So we are actually partnering with Brewer and Russo, which is one of the local contractors within the Champaign urban area. So the modules for the build team would be constructed in Chicago and shipped to Champaign. So the modules would be constructed in Skender factory. That would be a basic construction. And when it comes to Chicago, you would be having sorry. So when the modules are transported from Chicago to Champaign, here, a company named Brewer and Russo would be carrying out all the operations, as well as they would be uh, using the subcontractors to do the plumbing work as well as the electrical work. You might get a chance. So I told construction experience, you might get a chance to witness experience construction, as well as you might also get an experience to, let's say, to do some work that the students are restricted or the subcontractors allow us to do. So that's not a confirm, it's a potential one. That's the reason I told a potential construction experience. So local contractors would be doing that. That is, Brewer and Russo would be doing that, but you might get a chance to do some basic work that introduces you to what construction is. But you can definitely, so all the design decisions are made by students. So from the design side of view, you get a chance to do all the work. And we also, I forgot to say one thing, we are also looking for a graphic designer. If you're interested, there would be an application, there would be a section within the application that says, uh, which says that if you would like us to know anything, mention there that you're looking to join the team as a graphic designer as well. And the build team project is valued at approximately $500,000, and most of the products are sponsored in the sense. And after the house is constructed and after the competition are done, we are planning to donate the house to the Habitat of Humanity. So Solar Decathlon would be building the house, but we would be donating the house or the project to a company called, sorry, a non-profit organization or a non-governmental organization called the Habitat for Humanity. But that's the plan as of now. Yep. Do you guys have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What does the transfer process look like if you're transferring from like the concept team to like a build team or design team? Like, do you have to reapply, or is it can you just transfer in?
Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is each of the project is going to be 1 year long, except the design, except the build project. So the concept team project is going to be 1 year, the design team project is going to be 1 year, and the build team project is going to be for 2 years. So you cannot actually transfer from one of the team. That is, you can apply to concept team. If you apply and if you're selected for the concept team, selected to the concept team, you have to stay in the team for 1 year. And after you graduate from the concept team, you get a chance, or you get an ability to transfer to the next year's design challenge or the build challenge without any kind of application procedure. That's how it works. I hope I answered your question. Is that what you were looking for, or?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect.
Also, is there a different like time commitment for the concept team versus like the design and build teams? Like, what's the difference in time commitment?
So the concept team is going to be at least 5 hours. So all the sub teams, or all the teams would be, the commitment is going to be 5 hours, but a minimum of 5 hours. But for the design team, it's going to be an average of 7 hours, and for the build team, it's going to be an average of 8 to 10 hours. That would be the time commitment. For example, we had 12 members in the concept team the last semester. Everyone successfully completed their projects, and they got a chance to transfer to the build project. For example, we had 6 members who were interested in PV&D in the concept team. After their time in the concept team, they got transferred directly to the build team, and they are working on the build team's electrical stuff and the renewable energy stuff. That is the PV system as well as the energy efficiency side of the build team project. And we had 3 to 4 members who were in the structural engineering sub team the last semester, and now they're working as the student structural engineers for the build project. So if you guys are interested in concept team, so just out of curiosity, just wanted to get a mix from this crowd. Just enter your email as well as which you're from in the chat box. That will be helpful for me and as well as the entire team. And yep, so the application is due on September 4th. And if you guys have any questions at any time, here is my email. You can contact me anytime, and here is this is the email for the organization as a whole. So a couple of things. So for the design challenge as well as the build challenge, it would be beneficial if you already know Revit. Revit is a building information modeling software. And for the concept team, at least before you graduate or before you complete your concept team project, you would be a little bit proficient in Revit. So which is a mandatory thing for all the engineers given the situation. So irrespective of which sub team you are, so you should be knowing Revit. If you're in water sub team as well, you should be knowing Revit to design the plumbing stuff as well as the pipings of the house. If you're an electrical sub team, you can design the conduit diagrams of the house. If you're an architecture without Revit, you cannot. So a Revit is a mandatory one for all the architects. So you get a chance to be a project architect for this specific project. So you get hands-on experience as well. So all of the skills that you would be using when you're doing a full-time position, you can gain those skills and put to test when you're a part of Solar Decathlon and when you participate in the competition. Yeah, guys. So if you're comfortable, just share your email in the chat. That would be helpful to send the slides that I shared right now, as well as some reminders if you're interested. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
For the concept team, do they get their own individual project, or is it more just like kind of learning?
So it's going to be, so the last time we designed, or let's say we redesigned the engineering hall, which is a building on Green Street that is straight opposite to the Illinois Union. So we had 5 teams or 4 teams, and each of the sub team worked on their individual aspects or the sub team components of the engineering hall. For example, the PB&D team worked on the electrical aspects of the engineering hall. The architecture team looked into the possibility of adding a study patio near engineering hall, as well as we had a LAHA team to evaluate the possibility of using, or let's say having an electronic smart blind as well. So that's how it went the last semester. So you'd be working on one specific project or one specific building, but there would be various specific sub teams or subcategories, and you'd be working on the individual systems. That's how it works. Any other question, guys? Did I miss anything? Feel free to apply at the earliest, because if a team is formed, we would announce the results at the earliest. So don't wait till September 4th. Apply at the earliest. That would be my suggestion. Yep. And if you guys don't have any other questions, then yeah, that's it from me. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. I expect to review all of your applications. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.